Hello everyone and welcome back. Just wanted to get on here and do a bit of an update. So things have changed a little bit for me, and in a positive way, also maybe not so positive of a way. Or maybe a better way of saying that is some negative things have happened and hopefully has sort of caused me to turn into a more positive direction, a more active or more proactive, accelerated direction in my treatment. If you've never been on this channel before, my name is Sarah. I was diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer about 2 months ago. And we started originally with a plan of doing chemotherapy, doing 4 sets of chemotherapy, see if we can get the tumor to shrink, and then surgery would be the next step. So tomorrow I go in and do my 4th round, or my 4th set. And then we'll do some reevaluation. After that, have some CAT scans done and go from there. So that's originally the plan, and it was a good plan. Didn't exactly go as smoothly as I had hoped. The tumor is getting smaller, but I have 2 things going on. I have an ovarian cyst that is ginormous. It's described to me as the size of a volleyball. That may or may have, I suspect that's probably changed in size a little bit. There's also some colon cancer that has not been reevaluated yet, and I don't even know much about it. Other than it's there, and when I do chemo, even though the chemo makes me sick, once I recover from the chemo, that I actually feel better. My digestion feels better. I don't experience the blockages as much as I normally do. But what's been happening recently is I've been ending up in the ER a lot. 3 times this week. I feel like it's been about every week, and then this week it was about three times. And this is always for excruciating gastrointestinal pain, vomiting, blockage. It feels like a blockage, and they give me some high-powered pain medication, enough to settle it down. They give me CAT scans and x-rays, and no blockages come up, but there's something going on in my intestines, besides the cancer, besides the ovarian cyst, that is really impacting my quality of life, to say the least. I never know how I'm going to feel from day to day. Yesterday I actually felt well enough to go to work for a couple of hours, but then the day before that I was in the ER, and then this morning I woke up in excruciating pain, unable to have any bowel movement, unable to have any relief. The medication I'm on is not kicking it. So I was in the ER this morning, and I just feel like I'm going in circles. There's no definitive pathology behind this. They don't even know where the cancer is coming from exactly. And when I was in the ER, not this morning, but a couple days ago, the hospitalist very strongly suggested that I get a second opinion, and was questioning why I still have this volleyball size tumor. Like, why is that still in there? And you can't have something this big in your, pushing in and on and around and affecting your digestion, your hydration, your pain. I have no idea the impact that this cyst is having on the rest of my body, the rest of my intestines, my ability to eat and to eliminate and do all that without pain. And I'm definitely a little exhausted at the moment, but I just wanted to check in and talk a little bit about advocating for yourself. And if you don't know anything about the medical field, if this is kind of the first time that you're experiencing something like this, they tell you to speak up for yourself and to ask and to be strong and to be advocate for what your wants are, vocalize it. And I've never been that type of person. I've always just gotten by with everything will be okay and things will get taken care of, and my needs will be met without me having to stomp and scream and demand. And there's always a part of me that's judgy towards people who do demand what needs to be done, especially when it comes to your health. It's a part of me that sort of stayed away from people like that, and like I said, felt kind of judgy about them. Right now, I had to have, a girlfriend of mine who's very experienced in this come with me into the ER, and just to be supportive, to maybe ask questions that I don't know how to ask, or help me express what's going on inside. And it's easy to think that when you go into the ER that they ask you, your pain level, and when you start they ask you the triage questions and all that kind of stuff, and it's all very black and white, and they try and get that kind of information out of you, and so you feel like a patient. And I think there needs to be a little more discussion about a deeper discussion. And I don't even know what that would look like, but I just know that today, when I got to express my frustration with, look, this is my 5th time in 3 weeks in the ER for pain that I can't control, and the pain medication that I have isn't working anymore. I've been taking it for 2 months. There's a tolerance. I can't eat. Sometimes I can, sometimes I can't. I don't know. And on the days that I can't, or on the days that I eat something I shouldn't have eaten, or on the days that whatever happens in whatever way, and I wake up and I'm in excruciating pain and helpless and alone and bawling my eyes out and scared. And I don't feel hopeless, of course, but chasing your own tail, running around in circles, thinking you're getting somewhere and ending up right back where you started, will certainly take the wind out of your sails. And it'll make you feel like something's gone wrong, or it'll make you feel like maybe it's not working. And depending on what kind of personality, you might have, parts of you that get triggered, parts of you that say, I'm being a pain in the ass, or, what I'm going through is not that big of a deal. I can handle this. I can do this on my own. I don't need help. I don't deserve help. I don't deserve to be heard. I don't deserve for this to be taken seriously. Maybe I should just take the situation that's been dealt to me and just deal with it because I'm strong. Strong people don't ask for help, and they take care of it on their own. And I have so much respect for people who can do that. That's how I've lived my entire life. I've had to. But ask for help. And I want to say ask for help from the right people. And it might only be one right person. It might be a friend. It might be your nurse. Someone you trust. And it doesn't even have to be a friend. It just has to be someone you trust their opinion. That you trust that they're looking out for you. That they're genuine. Am I still showing up? Yep. Sorry, it's a little bit warm out here. This really, when you come up against something like this sort of uncomfortable boundary, that this is really testing my boundaries. I'm having to be that pain in the ass that goes into the ER every other day. That's the way it's been this week. I have to be that person that makes sure that I'm heard. I have to be that person that, I have terrible hospital anxiety, and I shouldn't. I used to work in one, and I know better. I know most of what they do to you doesn't necessarily hurt, and everyone that I've ever come across has been, above and beyond, really, really wonderful healthcare practitioners, wonderful human beings. And so, you think, why should I have hospital anxiety? And I just do. And I've had a couple of experiences, in the past that gave me some baggage. And so when I go into the hospital now, I have that anxiety. So now I have to demand that I'm given anti-anxiety before I even walk in the door, before anyone touches me. I have to be given that. And having to do that kind of thing now, those kinds of things now, having to advocate for myself, very much feels like weakness and neediness and being incapable, being an invalid or incapacitated or weak or less than. Whatever it is, there will be times when you'll have to face these parts of yourself. And right now I'm facing that part of myself. And I have wonderful friends. And I have one wonderful friend in particular who's walked with me, who's held my hand. And I've truly a God-given gift. So if there's anyone out there right now who's feeling helpless, feeling like you're having to face something outside of anything that you don't know if you're capable of facing. Doesn't matter how strong you are. Doesn't matter what you've overcome in the past. I'm trying to right now see the validity in strength. I mean, being strong is great, but this is kind of like the dark side of being strong. And, you know, I know that this is expanding me and this is growing me, and I will never be the same after this. Right, Buddha? Right, Buddha, Buddha? He's out here with me too. You know, I don't want to be glib and say something like, oh, this is just a opportunity for growth, and you know, you'll get through this, and you're strong, and yada yada yada. And even though all that stuff is true, it just doesn't seem to be, it doesn't reach the level that it needs. It doesn't reach the place inside of you that it needs to reach. And that there's strength in vulnerability, and that there's strength in weakness. There's strength. You have to have so much strength to say, I don't know what to do, and I'm scared. So today, because I have such wonderful nurses and doctors, and we're going to get a second opinion on how to move forward with this. That, you know, maybe chemo to get the tumor to shrink, and if the tumor is not shrinking, then what's next? And what's next is surgery, and it's a high-risk surgery. And making that happen. I personally do want the surgery. I want this cyst that's the size of a volleyball out of me, so that maybe I can digest my food. Maybe, you know, where my bowels and my small intestines and where all of that stuff sits, where it'll have space and room again to function properly. And I'm trying to, I almost feel like the big fat label of cancer got thrown on all of this so fast. And we just went down the chemo cancer road. And I understand that's a really important road to go down. But right now, I'm not getting through my days well. I'm not eating. I'm not eliminating. You know, because of this cyst. And it's never been biopsied. I actually think it's a non-cancerous cyst. I might have some colon tumors, or some tumors in my colon, you know, wherever in that part, but I bet you anything, if this giant cyst wasn't there, I probably wouldn't be having nearly the symptoms. And I could continue with the chemo, and it could be more trackable, more measurable. So I'm pushing to, sorry, I just want to make sure it was still on. I'm pushing to have the surgery. I want this thing out of me. Deal with the chemo, deal with the cancer, deal with what's left. But, like, no pun intended, it's a big fucking elephant in my room right now. And it's taking over my life. And even worst case scenario, I die of cancer down the road. I don't want my life between now and whenever I pass away to be excruciating pain nearly every day. And this is where being strong comes in. I'm facing my own mortality, and how do I want to live my life? And what are my options? And what's my gut telling me? Anyways, I'm going to cut this off now, and I wanted to really send my heart out to anyone who's going through something like this right now, where you're spinning in circles, and it's Groundhog Day. It's day after day after day after day. It feels like you cannot make progress. You're not getting out of this. You cannot get your life back. You get pieces of it back, and then it's gone again, and you don't know what the future holds, you know. I really haven't been able to work, so this is affecting my finances and potentially affecting my future, besides my health. And let people help you. Every once in a while, I find myself asking for help, say via text, and then I'll ask for help, and then I'll immediately erase it. And when I immediately erase it, I've developed this little bell that goes off in my head, and it says, nope, no, Sarah, don't erase it. Just ask. It's okay. It's okay to let someone even be in the ER room with you. It's okay to let someone speak for you who you trust. It's okay to call when you're in pain. It's okay to go to the ER every other day. Until this gets fixed, if I have to go to the ER every day, then that's just the way it is, I wish you all the best, and you will get through it. And I'd like to say stay strong, but maybe don't. I used to never cry. I would only cry when I got my heart broken. Now I cry all the time. I cry every day. I cry over good things. I cry when people reach out to me who I love and care about me. I cry because I got to go to work yesterday for a few hours. I cry when I eat and it doesn't hurt. I cry when the pain goes away. I cry when someone wipes my tears from my eyes. I cry when someone listens. But I also cry when I hurt. When they can't find an IV. And when the pain medication isn't enough. And I cry when I wake up in pain. And it's not a silent, whimpering cry. It's not a polite cry. I cry to let the pain out. I cry because I refuse to be the strong person who can hold all the pain. I don't want to hold the pain anymore. I'm not holding on to it. And when I hurt, I cry. And I bawl. And sometimes I wail. And it's snotty. And it's ugly. And it's not even emotional. It's just pain. It's just pain that I want gone from me. Turn it into something else. The pain that I've experienced in my life and the pain that I still carry with me has served its purpose. And your pain that you carry with you has served its purpose. Cry. Cry like a bitch. Whimper. Yelp. Don't pretend. Be yourself. Find people to trust. Trust yourself. Trust your gut. If you don't trust your doctors and your nurses, find other ones. there's something in you that knows what needs to be done. And maybe you feel like you can't, or you're scared to. Or who are you to demand that this thing that you want or this thing that you need be given to you? That this is part of self-love. This is beyond self-love. This is self-survival and preservation and honoring yourself. Honor yourself enough to know that it's not okay to hurt. It's not okay to be hurt. It's not okay to hurt yourself. It's not okay to let yourself be hurt. There's no, gift box at the end for being a martyr. There really isn't. I don't care who hears me cry. I really don't care anymore. I don't apologize for crying. I don't apologize for being in pain. I don't apologize for being here. I don't apologize for being on this earth. And I don't think that you should either. And whether this reaches a single person ever, great. Hopefully it's the right person. And if you've been listening to this for as long as you have, you know what I'm talking about. You know the pain, and you know the strength, and you know the weakness, and you know all of that stuff about yourself. And just know that you are loved. And if no one loves you, love yourself equal, if not more, than what anyone else could give you. And love your body. Your body is here for you. Anyways, I love you guys. And, be here for it. Be here for yourself. And hopefully next time I'll have better news for you. Alright, take care of yourself.